Welcome to Rom Wills Money Matters. Buy durable clothes. Buy durable clothes. And you're like, what this got to do with money and stuff? Well, it's about saving money. And what do I mean by durable clothes? Buy you some stuff that's going to last. Because I'm going to tell you what, there was a while there I would get a few things from some of the more discount type of stores. They're ubiquitous. I don't need to call their names. But then I noticed something about the clothing because I was getting my son's stuff from those clothing stores too. One of the main reasons I was because they were growing so fast and still are. But I've noticed one thing. After a while, you always got to replace those clothing. So it was, and in fact, I noticed when I had to wear clothing for this, I first really noticed when I would buy clothing for this retail store I worked at. You know, and it was just regular kind of uniform type of pants. But I was like, why I got to keep buying these over and over? Seriously, it would invariably get to a point where the pants would have holes in them. But I was always getting the least expensive pants. And people think, oh, well, Rom, you working. And I was like, no, because I got some clothes. Those were cheap. But there have been clothes I've bought that were more expensive, even more high end, and I will wear them regularly, and they still in my closet. I mean, for years. I got stuff. I got some jeans stuff from late 90s, still late 90s, early 2000s, and I would wear them to death. I was just recently retiring some high-end jeans I got. They were Ralph Lauren jean shorts. And I would wear them to death. I'm just now retiring, and only because they got distressed in the crotch area. They were distressed every place else, and that's stylish. I was getting away with it, but in the crotch area, I said, okay, I can't keep wearing these. But they lasted. See, here's the thing, and this is a little trick that some of these discount places, I don't want to call their name because, you never know. They might be like, oh, no, you can't talk about us. But you keep buying and people say it's cheap, but then you buying the same thing in a couple months. So you might buy the same article of clothing for whatever reason several times at this discount place, end up spending a lot of money. But it's cheaper. Now, see, when you got stuff like that, you got products like that, you notice they sell them in poorer neighborhoods. And yeah, it's cheaper, but then they buying it again and again. See, some of these poor people can't save money that way. Now, when I say durable means sometimes it could mean the high-end stuff. Like one thing about high-end clothing on many levels, they just better made. Or anything, it could be clothing, it could be sheets. One thing when I was working in retail, one of my jobs, my job was to merchandise. Sometimes I had to merchandise the home area. And the thing was, I got a lesson is just because something looks good as a sheet don't mean it. There's a big difference between an 800 thread count sheet and a 300 thread count sheet. And, the 800 thread count sheet lasts a long time. You get the cheaper ones, you're going to have to buy it sooner or later. Now, a lot of people think, oh, that's tough, it's tough. But hold up. Okay, say there's a shirt you get, like a polo type of shirt. You get it from a low-end store. You pay $10 for it, and you're thinking, okay, this is great. But then, depending on how much you wear it, you might have to buy 3 more, 40. And you have to keep buying it, right? But say if you took that same 40, then what you paid total on the shirt you had, but kept wearing out. Say if you take that same 40 and actually buy a more durable shirt, then you don't have to buy one again for a long time. That one's going to last you a few years. Then since you don't have to spend that money, you can put it into something else. That's the trick. See, you always want to get good quality stuff. I mean, I said clothes, but that could be anything. But you want to get stuff that has a better chance of lasting. And it don't have to be the super expensive stuff. It don't have to be. That's more for style, just for everyday living. I would say, generally get stuff that's a bit expensive. Like when I look at clothing, I pass right by the cheapest stuff. And if you actually understand clothing, you can look at it and tell. Like I gave an example of Great example. Now I'll call the name of this company. They ain't gonna get mad. They probably give me a little something. Probably send me a coupon. Now I've said I get a lot of stuff from like the Ralph Lauren outlets, polos. I've gotten polos that's last a while. In fact, my sons had polos, and only reason they stopped wearing them, like the Ralph Lauren polos, the horsies on it, only reason they stopped wearing them is they just simply grew out of them. That's it. That's it. They stopped growing out of them. And the clothing that they had, I didn't even pay for those. Most of them, anyway. Some I did, but most of them I didn't. They actually got them. They were like hand-me-downs from somebody else who had them, but they were still in great shape. But then having those hand-me-downs, I didn't have to buy the clothes for them. I could put that money into something else. You see how that works? You see how that works. People got to realize something. See, a lot of stuff out there, especially in poor areas, is to keep you buying. You know, the cheaper stuff, because it's cheap. It's going to run out. It's going to break. You got to buy it. It's actually better to buy the more expensive thing, because then it lasts you a long time. Like, I've gotten stuff from, like, some of those, I'm going to say dollar-type stores. I'm not calling any names. I'm saying dollar-type stores. And notice, I was like, wait a minute, this thing breaking already. You know, like kitchen things like, spatulas and stuff like that. When I started buying the more expensive stuff, a bit better, still in great shape. You know? So the clothing thing, because see, that's a major thing. Clothing's a major. We got to wear clothes. And in fact, that's what's affecting the economy. People not out here buying clothes and they're hitting the malls and everything. But it's actually better to spend a little bit extra and buy that clothing, like some piece of clothing that can last you a couple of years, than to continually buy. And that could even be underwear. Like the more expensive underwear actually lasts a while. I got underwear that I've had for nearly 10 years, and I still have them in my drawer. Now, there's some that at some point, and I've noticed, because there's been times I would get cheaper underwear, but then all of a sudden the holes show up and everything. Got the more expensive ones, better quality ones, they still there. You know, but then I don't have to, unless I just happen to want a pair of underwear, I don't have to spend the money on them. And see, just like I said in the last episode, when you don't have to spend that money, what do you do with it? You put it in your savings. Once the money is in the savings, it can accumulate. Then you can use that to invest in a business startup. You can buy stocks. You can invest in something to bring you back some money, you know. And I mentioned in the last episode about some of these businesses now, you know, they're allowing people to like get a piece of them. And, you know, they'll give them a benefit back. So that's something else too, you know. Like I said, that particular thing, I still got to look deeper into that. I got to look at it. I don't just want to buy something, invest like that. But you get the choice with it. See, the key is you want to buy things that you don't have to keep buying. You want to be able to save that money, because that's the key to everything. Because once you save the money, once you got that savings, then you can go in other directions. All right? So anyway, I want y'all to think on this. So let's go make that money.